Hey guys, welcome to the Testing Academy and welcome to the series of Playwright Web Automation with Java and Android. Alright, so in this video, we will basically learn how to handle keyboard, mouse interaction as well as JS handle in Playwright. Alright, so let's get started. Awesome guys. So we're gonna cover three important topics, which is how to work with keyboard and how to work with mouse and what exactly is a JS handle, kind of alternate to the JS executor that you have seen in Selenium, right? Or if you want to execute any kind of a JavaScript code on a particular element also, you can do that with the JS executor or JS or a evaluate function, okay, available in the Playwright. So let's jump into it. So previously we have seen the frame demo, iframe switching demo, right? What I will do is I'll just copy paste thing. So let's create a new class. We'll create a dummy class for us. We will basically mention keyboard, mouse, M for mouse, and JS. Okay, this is just a dummy class, guys. Nothing fancy here. I'm just creating a main function for our reference, and this is the pre-built code that we have already passed. Awesome. So let's do one thing. Let's navigate to this website, which is a free type website, and I will enter something here through keyboard only. Okay, I will not use their over pre-made functions like click or fill. I'll use keyboard only. So if you want to use keyboard only, how you can do that, right? It's very simple. We need to navigate to this, right? So we'll navigate and let's copy the URL. Awesome. Right. Now, what you can do is you can use what is called as keyboard function page dot keyboard. Okay, and now you can basically call anything that you like. For example, you can type whatever you like. For example, let's type name @ your company dot, right. But before that, where should I write, right? So I need to do one more important thing, which is clicking this text, right? Clicking this, I need to put a focus here, right? So I need to click here. So what I can do is you can directly call selector hub if you already have, and you can copy the CSS selector, right? Let's see if we are getting the correct one. Awesome. So yeah, it's already available, so you can click on it. So keyboard I have entered, and after that I want to suppose do click on the. I want to press something. For example, let's add here. Click on it. Okay. And I want to basically pause this so that I can see what's happening behind this. Awesome, right? Let's run this build. It's very easy, guys. So basically, we are clicking on the icon so that we are basically making a focus there. And after when we have a focus, we can just use keyboard method to type, right? We can use press also. And when you use this function, right, notice how slow this basically writes, right? If you use fill method, it will basically write immediately, right? But here you can see it's every letter is getting typed by keyboard, and you can see enter is also clicked. Since name was already there, and this is just a pause window that we have basically used, so it is working absolutely fine, right? What kind of keyboard interactions are available? So you can do a type, you can do press, you can do arrow left if you want to, and there are number of functions like number of keys available like F1, F2, digit 1, 2, 3, backcode, minus, page down, page up, home interest, and you can try out everything if you want to. All right. Similarly, let's jump to the mouse one, and I think mouse one is very straightforward. It, for example, in the same example, I want to basically do a mouse move. So I need to basically mention where I want to move my cursor, right? For example, I want to move my cursor to X100, Y100 first, and then I need to change. Okay, then I need to basically click on the element. Okay, so I can do that. So similarly, I have basically used the function of mouse here, and if you notice that cursor will automatically move to that, and right, and it will start doing the keyboard stuff, right? Awesome. So similarly, you can leverage what is called as mouse up function if you want to. You can do mouse down. You can click on the X and Y coordinates of it. Generally not recommended. You can do double click on a specific X and Y. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes, or you can do a wheel also where you can scroll to particular delta. Okay, so this is very rarely used, but many times people are using. Let's jump to the very important thing, which is JS handle. JS handle is basically represent, you can say it's represent as in a JavaScript object, right? And if you want to evaluate any kind of a JavaScript object, a JavaScript on your page, you can do this by JS handle. Okay, and it basically how you can use is you basically call a evaluate handle, and here you can pass your function or anything that you want to execute. This is your JavaScript code that you want to execute, and when you execute this, it will give you a handle, which is called as JS handling later. Okay, and this is really important if you want to understand this. Awesome. So let's do one thing. Like if you go to this website, right, vw.com, right? If you go to console, right? I'm gonna type one thing which is vwo.cc. vwo. Okay, so it's on Windows. vwo. So it's suppose there is a object present, right? PC custom. Yeah. So if you see, it's a JSON, right? Where A is equal to 100 and T is equal to 100. There is a JSON value present. And this is a JavaScript code that I want to execute, and I want to check this value or get this value also, right? How I can do that? It's basically a JavaScript code. This JavaScript code that I want to execute on this function, right? How I can do this? It's very simple. So we are already at this page and we are entering this thing. So let me make it. Uh, Let me comment it out. So we gonna get a JS handle first, right? That I have told you, right? Playwright one, JS handle. What we're gonna call it is evaluate handle, right? And what we want to evaluate, we want to evaluate this thing, right? We will basically mention that here, right? Make sense? Okay. So this one is fine. Now I want to basically get the value, right? So I can do JS handle dot JSON value. Okay. And let's run this code now. And let's see if we are able to get the JSON values on. Okay. So because we wanted that JSON value to be there, right? So this is really helpful for you guys if you want to execute any kind of JavaScript method, right? And here the website is getting loaded, and let's see if we are getting the JSON value or not in the end. Okay. Awesome. So we are able to fetch the JSON value, right? So you can run any JavaScript code that you want to. So for example, you can get all the things which are present in the Windows window object, and it will print all the values of JSON available in the window object in JavaScript, right? You can execute your scroll to functions, your scroll to view function, which are available in JavaScript, right? That you can execute on a particular page. You can do that. Similarly, it's very similar to the Selenium one that you have seen, right? Where we are basically do a scroll to a particular element. I think we have some errors. Okay, so we are getting some cross original errors, but it's fine. Okay. Let's try out one more thing, which is I want to fetch Windows. I can use this method, right? Protos. It's a JavaScript method. I want to scroll to this particular coordinates. Okay, can I do that? Let's see. So let's run it again. So these are all JavaScript code that I am running, right? This is actually, if you want to try out, you can try out here also. So let's check it out for this one. Where right? And let's see if our code is working. Right. It's basically returning null because we don't have anything. But here, if you do give it a try, right? Not about playing. Right? It just scrolled, if you see, right? If you scroll up, it just scroll down. And if you want to simulate the similar behavior, you can use this code to evaluate handle. Okay. this was a very easy demo for you guys to do this. Where now it basically provides you with bunch of options where you can get the properties, you can get the JSON value, you can get the properties of handle, right? There are many things that you can do. For example, here if you see, we are basically evaluating your whatever the tweets that we are getting, right? On that tweet, we can basically evaluate and we can get the inner text also. So this is a really interesting example, right? You can get the properties also. For example, Windows and document, we are basically evaluating this function, anonymous function, and this handle, we are getting all the properties available, and we are basically adding to the window handle and document handle, right? That you can do that. You can get the properties also. So this is another thing which is required. JSON value, I think we have seen. So depending upon the requirement, how you want to do it, you can use the evaluate handle function. Okay, and there is another interesting thing which already available was evaluate on selector also. If you want to evaluate on a particular selector or an element, right? For example, on a search element, I want to get the value of it, right? So I can use space dot evaluate on selector also, right? There are a bunch of evaluate function available here. If you go by evaluate on selector, evaluate on selector all, evaluate as expression, or evaluate handle that we have already talked about, right? So you can use this. For example, if this JavaScript code you want to execute, you can do that by using the evaluate function, right? You will get a result as an object, and that you can see. So this is really helpful, guys. In the future, whenever we are working with the JS code or JavaScript code, it will be very helpful for guys. I hope you have learned something, guys. I hope keyboard, mouse interaction, as well as JavaScript code is helpful for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.